Thanks everyone for having me today. I'm glad to be able to talk a little bit about a speech. What I'm going to talk about today is actually me. The first time I came in and talked, it was about another topic, but I never got a chance to talk about Walter and what Walter is and who he is. And I'm not sure if anybody even knows that much about me, but I think some of you maybe do. But I've been in software for about 32 years. Started in Toastmasters in 1993, so probably before a lot of you were even born. But I started in Toastmasters because I saw the value of it and the value of speaking, but not only just public speaking, but speaking on the phone, speaking to people, but also a good topic Eric talked about is listening, learning to listen, and actually hearing what someone's saying. But after that, after I started Toastmasters, I lived in Tucson and I worked for a company called Avalon Software, and I was a sales trainer. And there I worked with a lot of salespeople and training them how to position product, but also learn how to build relationships and everything like that. So from there, and actually before Avalon, I worked for a company called McCormick & Dodge, which is really going back to 1984. In 1984, McCormick & Dodge was the #1 mainframe software company in the world until they merged. So I did a lot with that company where I worked with their manufacturing software and also their financials and everything like that. But after I left there, like I said, I moved to Arizona and I've worked for mostly all the major competitors of Oracle. Infor, I'm a Microsoft certified consultant. I'm also certified in Infor. So a lot of different competitors in software, but I've been doing this a long time, a very long time. And I just welcome this opportunity to be able to talk to you guys because there's a lot I can share and a lot of things you can learn, which I'll get to that and tell you how I can do that. So first off, I'd like to also talk about leadership and leadership training. I started a leadership nonprofit back in 2005. It's called SEBA. SEBA stands for Supporting Education, Business, and Achievement. And there I had my nonprofit focused on high school students, where it eliminated bullying and exclusion. And as you know, when you're in school, to be excluded is almost worse than bullying. You walk away thinking, what's wrong with you? Why am I not accepted? And everything like that. Well, you have a lot of kids that lash out because of that. But also the leadership training went through training skills of what I learned in Toastmasters, how to speak, how to be heard, without being physical, without being a nuisance, but being respected. So part of leadership training, when I did in high school, was about building character. And those skills about building character is honesty, but also being able to deliver on what you say, which is why I'm real sensitive about when someone says they're going to do something and they actually do it. When they don't do it, it's a problem. And making a commitment, and I always tell students, making a commitment to do something is not as important. It's when a good leader will say when they can't do it and not leave someone hanging. Just say, I can't get it done, and communicate. So part of that and part of Toastmasters is all about communication skills also. Being able to communicate effectively, but also leading. My leadership style that I always teach kids is lead by example. Not by looking at different leadership styles that we have in history of people that you get led by and you don't know that type of style, and then after you go down the path, you find out it's not the right one. Okay. So from that, I did leadership training to probably the whole Vail school district in Tucson, where I got 4 leaders from each high school, and then we all did leadership training, but also enabling those kids to be able to go out and lead, but also be a conduit for kids that are getting bullied. Someone they can go peer-to-peer and be able to talk to without being judged. And I'm sure everyone has experienced that before, where most leadership clubs are done by administrators that are adults. And kids need to lead their own leadership training and everything like that. So every other week at the high schools, kids would have bands saying they're a leader and identify themselves where kids can come to them and talk to them and actually be accepted. There's also a video I used to show, and I wish I could show that. It talks about leaders and followers. The only thing that makes a leader is a follower. And once you get one follower, you're a leader. And there's a video that I used to show that does that. It talks about one person follows, then another person follows. which makes it even better. So after that, and just a little bit going back to me, I had 3 kids. I had a 26-year-old, 23-year-old, and a 35-year-old daughter. So a lot of you don't know how old I am, but I'm 60. So I've been around a long time. I've been at this a long time. And I have a lot of knowledge and a lot of things to share. And anytime, just like the shirt, you have any questions, you can always come to me and ask me, and I'll tell you the truth. And one thing is about doing that is telling the truth. The other things I've done in my past, I've done security, personal security and concert security. In the 80s, I've seen about just every band and done security for them. Also, I've done, like I used to be personal bodyguard for Oprah Winfrey. I used to do that and things, but got a lot of stories to tell and a lot of different things. Same thing with companies and being in software. I have a lot of experience with companies that I've done projects with, sold to, build relationships to. On LinkedIn, I was number 32 on LinkedIn when LinkedIn started. Because I saw the opportunity, and before LinkedIn, it used to be a website called the 6 Degrees, where everyone was connected somehow doing 6 degrees down. Then LinkedIn showed up. I don't know if LinkedIn bought them, but that other site just went away, and I used to be part of that.